One more thing about generics that I want to cover is setting a default value, a default type for one of these type parameters. So if you remember back with query selector way early on, when I did, where'd that go? Here we are. When I did something like this, query selector for this class, and I don't provide a type inside of those angle brackets, there's still a default type, and it's going to be element, as you can see here. Element, and we get a return value with of type element or null. So we can write our own generic function that has a default value for a type parameter. Let's just write a function called, make list. And make list takes some type t, and we'll call it make empty list. This is also something we don't need a function for, but it's simple and easy to wrap your head around, which is the point of this this video and what I care about. So anyway, t is our type there, and we don't expect any arguments, and we're going to return an array of type t. So I guess I'll call this make empty array. Okay, and then in here, we can basically just return an empty array, just like that, but TypeScript knows that it's actually going to be of type t. So just as an example, if I do make empty array string, you can see what that returns to me, const strings. That holds a string array, right? And then I can, I need my parens here, but then I can do things like strings dot push and then a string, no problem. Okay, but what if I were to call it with nothing there, just make empty array with no type? What do we get? We get an array of unknown type. So if we wanted to provide a different default value like number or any or numbers and strings or whatever we want, we can provide that right in here with an equal sign after that type parameter, and then I can say it will default to number if that's what I wanted. And so now if I make an empty array and don't provide a type parameter, I don't use that generic syntax, I'm calling this variable strings, but it defaults to type number array. So I would call this, nums. But then I can still do something like make empty array and say I want a Boolean array, just like that, and then execute that, const bools, and I end up with an array of Booleans. So this type default value only comes into play if you don't specify that. Anyway, that is how we can provide a default value for type parameters, and I think we should end this section here. It's been a long one.